Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Marv Lat, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. Another edition coming at y'all. Can't believe I'm saying this. End of summer. Oh, it's been a fun one. Hope you people at home got to do all the things you wanted to do, go to places you want to go, relax, all that good stuff, and enjoy this weather because it's about to be hoodie season. That's right, folks. Hoodie season is coming up. Make sure you got yourself a hoodie because it's about to get cold. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about today. As you know, a couple of days ago, we've had the recent Emmy Awards that took place. And it was actually a good show. I'm not going to hold y'all. It was a good show. I enjoyed the ceremony. I enjoyed the nostalgia it did, the reunions that it did for some classic TV shows like Quick Schitt's Creek reunion, Happy Days reunion, West Wing. It brought back a lot of old TV characters that we've all known and loved, from Reno 911 to NYPD Blue to How to Get Away with Murder and so many other TV shows past and present. And it took the liberty of making history with a lot of different stars, from The Bear to Shogun. Shout out to actually the lady that plays Tina, Liza. Shout out to her because she became not only one of the first Latinas to do it for her category, she actually repping for the Bronx. She's from the Bronx, people. That's where I'm from. So shout out to her. She making the Bronx once again look really good. But no disrespect. My video is not about the history that was made at that night from the different races and the different people that made history. My video and my conversation is not going to be about that. It's not going to be about the game changers, the needle movers, none of that. But shouts out to them, though, because they did their thing. That's for another video. What this video is about is one huge elephant in the room. One huge elephant in the room. If you're a Pokemon fan, we're going to say the Don fan in the room. But this is about the fact that The Bear keeps winning awards in the comedy category. And the world is going mad. That's right. We are turned all the way up with anger because in our eyes, The Bear should not be considered a comedy or in the comedy genre for that matter. Now, everybody's divided. We wonder why. Now, if you are at home and you've seen The Bear, you can have a sense of why there's an argument there. If you've never seen The Bear, I need to know why. Like, what's going on? What are you waiting on? Are you backed up on other shows? I get it. It's a lot to binge out here in the world. But are you backed up on other shows? Do you have no interest in watching good TV? What's going on? Let me bring it down. That's my bad. Anyway, I just want to know. That's all I need to know. So my whole thing is, what is going on there? But at the end of the day, people want to know. Inquiring minds always want to know. Angry minds always want to know. Trolls want to know. But what we want to find out is, why is it always getting nominated for comedy awards? Why does this great show keep getting awards in the comedy category? Why are funnier shows that are funnier not only by default, but on many different levels, such as Curb Your Enthusiasm, which actually didn't even get an award in its whole course of the series run up until its end, which sucks. What We Do in the Shadows, which is also lacking on hardware, you know what I'm saying? As well as other shows that came out during the Bears run. Why aren't they getting awards? Reservation Dogs. Why aren't shows like that able to beat this juggernaut of a show in the comedy category when they are funnier than this actual show? So what we're wondering is that. And my thing is, I'm not going to lie to y'all. A couple of days ago, I originally made a video where I was very mad and I was like, just should it be in this category? I was one that was on that side. But I also had to look at it in a different light. See, I'm a comedian. I'm an entertainer, but I'm a comedian at heart. I do a lot of comedy. I've done comedy for several years. And I've had some good times, had good shows, had bad shows. Some shows didn't go my way. It's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? And some shows did. I took home some wins, went home feeling good, and celebrated afterwards. And that's because comedy is subjective. Some jokes ain't gonna land because some crowds ain't gonna feel it. Whereas some jokes are gonna land even heavier because the crowd's really gonna think it's funny. It all depends on the crowd, all depends on the joke and how it's being said. But at the end of the day, when it comes to The Bear, there is an argument there that it is a subjective comedy. The producers of The Bear have openly stated that they wanted it to be a comedy, so it's a comedy. And here we are. When you look at a show like Atlanta, Atlanta is funnier than The Bear. But Atlanta is also definitely has heavier tones. It's a very serious dramedy, and it's a good show nonetheless. But it is very on that fine line of drama and comedy. And people often wonder, like, which show, what are we looking at here? What is it going to be? And at the end of the day, you come to realize this is a comedy. This is how Donald Glover wrote it. This is how he made it. This is how the other writers wrote it with him. And this is where we're at. It's a comedy. And the same goes for his other show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It has funny elements, but it was meant to be a drama. So they put it in as a drama. It got nominated in the Emmys for its drama seriousness. It did not win, but nonetheless, it's a drama, even though it has comedic tones. So The Bear was meant to be a comedy. It just, at times, it gets really just dark. It's a dark comedy. It's a very dark comedy. Do we laugh when Carmen and Richie be arguing? Yes. Do we laugh when Richie says dumb things? Yes. Do we laugh when Carmen and Richie's other cousins all say dumb things? Yes. We have those moments. Now, there's other moments you might laugh at for your own reasons. Like for me, I know it wasn't meant to be funny, but I did really laugh when Carmen's mom, who was played by Academy Award winner Jamie Lee Curtis, drove a car through the house. To me, it was kind of funny because it was just so random. It was one of those like caught me off guard kind of funny things. It also made me laugh when his older brother, played by my guy, the Punisher, aka John Bernthal, decided to throw forks at Saul, aka Bob Odenkirk. To me, that was funny. But those are funny because, like, I'm from New York, man. I've seen stupid stuff like that before. I've seen people drive cars all crazy, is on the sidewalk. There's videos right now on the internet you can look up of people in New York driving cars on the sidewalk for no reason. This lady actually was suffering from a mental illness. These other people was just, they ain't give no Fs. So I'm just using that as an example. I'm not trying to go to a full tangent on what I've seen. But what I'm saying by that is there are moments where The Bear is funny. Now, I think the better argument for people is that Carmen, the actor playing Carmen, Jeremy Allen White, should not be getting the Best Actor in a Comedy Series award because his character isn't funny. I don't really recall times where I've laughed at his character or his character's made a joke where I laughed. I always felt bad for this guy. I always wanted to see him win, but I never really looked at him as a comedy, like the lovable loser type. I've always looked at him as like, he represents a lot of people like myself who are just like bound to just want to succeed so bad that they'll sacrifice a lot just to get to the next level. Like he sacrificed his relationship. He sacrificed his, well, he didn't really sacrifice his relationship. He just blew it up. But what I'm saying by that is he didn't feel he needed a relationship. He didn't feel he needed his family at times. Sometimes, heck, he didn't feel he needed himself. So there wasn't really a point where you could have a moment where he could say a joke like that. It wasn't often. His cousin, yes. Richie deserves the award. Richie is the funny guy on the show. He might be, outside of his other cousins, the funniest guy on the show. So he deserves it. Sydney, man, not so much. Tina, definitely not. I'm glad she won. I'm glad she got one for herself. I'm glad she won for the Bronx, Liza. But her character wasn't really it. She had moments, but her character wasn't consistently funny. And when you're comparing it to the other women she was going up against, my vote was for like one of the two women on Abbott Elementary, which was Janelle James or Sheryl Lee Ralph. Or you could even went with the lady, I think the lady from Hacks was nominated. But either way, what I'm saying by that is like there were funnier people they could have chose. But The Bear is such a good show. I think they were going more off of the acting, how good of an actor or actress they were versus how funny they were. And I just feel like for a comedy series, even though comedy is subjective, it's still a matter of like, did I laugh? when I watched this show, to laugh. I think it was 2020 or when they did the Emmys, like when they did the COVID Emmys, basically, and a lot of people couldn't go to the ceremony. That was when Schitt's Creek racked up all the comedy awards for Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Lead Actor, Best Lead Actor. Like they racked up, and I think Best Show, Comedy Show. And why did they do that? Because the show itself is funny, but the four main characters, the family, the Rose family, the father, the mother, the daughter, the brother, were all cracking up. They all had scenes where they stole the show. So you couldn't be like, well, I don't think she should have won it. No, she should have. Alexis singing her own song versus David's just random like, ooh, do we want to do that? The mom, her delusional thing is she's the best actress in the game. And the father just trying to keep them all together. That's funny. There's not much funny about a guy who literally has like, panic attacks every minute because he can't get his staff together. He's yelling at his assistant. He's yelling at his number two. He about to beat up his cousin. He can't get his crew together. What's funny about that? You know what I'm saying? You know what was funnier? Larry David's last run on, well, maybe not his last run, but his run on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Matt Berry's turn as a just eccentric but also delusional vampire who was an idiot. Like those type of dudes was funny. Steve Martin and Martin Short just playing these kooky old men who keep solving crimes. Like those shows are funnier than The Bear. They are, and it's not by default. It's just cause they are funnier than The Bear. But again, comedy is subjective, and we have to be able to differentiate the two and understand that it is subjective to some. There are some people out there who find The Bear funny, and I need to know who these people are. I think in the Academy, I mean, it really would have been crazy to put The Bear in a drama. But would it have been that crazy? It would have made more sense. Do you think people would have been complaining if The Bear was in the drama categories? Not at all. I think they still, some of them at least, would have won their awards. Tina probably would have went home with one. Liza would have went home with one. I don't think this would have been Jeremy's year. Now, let's be real. If you're a fan of The Bear, you kind of got to count your blessings on this one. Because Shogun was too good. Shogun was straight fuego. It was so fuego that if The Bear went up against Shogun for drama series, I think we'd be having a different video right now. That's all I'm saying. We'd be sitting there on some like, maybe it should have been a comedy this year. Maybe it should have been a comedy. So we kind of got to count our blessings if we're fans of The Bear, because now Shogun was able to get the W and The Bear was able to get the W. If they were in the same category, we'd only have to root for one, and this is Shogun's year. They did it big. They swept the board. They made history for Asian and the Asian community. What more can we say? The Bear already had its time, and The Bear still has its time. And whenever they decide to end, they're going to keep having a time. But we have to be able to tell ourselves that this is a comedy and this is going to continue to be a comedy unless there are rules set in place by the Academy where they feel like, okay, what defines a comedy or what defines a drama? But again, it's subjective. And when it's subjective, anybody can laugh at pretty much anything. Somebody might really find joy in Richie and Carmen fighting each other. I don't know why. I just know that that's what it is. And I can't sit here and complain about it anymore. I really spent the last 3 days like, yo, this is wow. Like, how did it beat? How is it funnier than What We Do in the Shadows? And What We Do in the Shadows is a show based off of a movie that I didn't think was going to be funnier than the movie. And it ended up being so. Because you got Matt Berry, who's a freaking legend. And then you got other good actors too. None against them. But Matt Berry is a legend, man. I've seen him in the IT Crowd. I've seen him in Snuffbox. I've seen him in so many other shows in the UK and the US that I was like, you can't write this guy off. They're going to keep nominating him. I'm pretty sure they're going to nominate him one last time. The season's it's coming up on his final season, which hurts my soul. And the Bears going to keep rolling along. And Jeremy Allen White is going to win another award, and he's going to look dead in Matt Berry's face and be like, whole lot. It's the Bear, baby. So it is what it is. But I mean, congrats to Jeremy Allen White. Congrats to Liza. I gotta put some respect on her name because I'm just saying Liza because I know I don't want to butcher her last name. Liza Colon Zayas. Congrats to her. Congrats to everybody who worked on The Bear. Congrats to everybody who worked on Shogun. But more importantly, congrats to everybody who was either nominated or eventually won an Emmy the other night. Y'all deserved it. It is what it is. But going forward, we have to acknowledge the fact that The Bear is a comedy, and comedy is subjective, and people are going to laugh at what they find funny. And as long as that matters, The Bear can be a comedy. But if that's how y'all gonna feel, if there's a drama I find funny, then that drama needs to be in the comedy section. I'm just saying. If Shogun finds his way into doing some comedy stuff, man, listen. I'm being real. If next season Shogun decides all of a sudden start cracking jokes out of nowhere, just cause, then this was gonna have to happen. But here's a little advice for all you other shows. If a show like Shogun is gonna keep just pumping perfect seasons or near perfect seasons, I might follow the Bear strategy and become a comedy myself. I'm gonna find some way to break into that, or just make a limited series. If there's no more Baby Reindeer, make a limited series and you'll be all right. Make a cartoon. Maybe you'll get a Creative Arts Emmy. Do something. Because right now, FX and Hulu is holding the game down. It's hard to really see that W come out of here unless you're on a streaming service. But if that streaming service isn't Max or Hulu, I don't know. Netflix, Baby Reindeer was one thing, but I ain't really seen no other W's this year. But Shogun is that. You know what I mean? And The Bear is too. So I really had to make this video to calm myself down, but I really wanted to hear from y'all as well. Hit me up in the comments. Say what you feel. Do you feel The Bear is a comedy? Do you feel The Bear is a drama? Or do you just feel like The Bear should pick a lane on its own? So that way we know what we're doing. And then we can have a proper Shogun versus The Bear debate. But until that time, hit me up in the comments. Let us know what's going on. Follow us on all social media at Nerds in the Hood. The link tree will be in that description below. Until next time, I'm going to catch y'all later. It's your boy Marv Lat. Holla at y'all boys. Peace.